everyone, how are you? I'm here today to talk to you about an initiative that we were involved in called Are You Pink or Are You Purple? So firstly, just to give you a really brief overview of PayPal. Oh yeah, and just a tip, we have 9 slides, which is the bad news. The good news is most of them have pictures, as we can see. So hopefully we'll move through them quickly. But yeah, to give an overview of PayPal, the company, we're relatively new on the scene, I suppose, in comparison to some companies here. We're established back in 1998 in San Jose, California. But within those 13 years, we are now present in 190 markets, supporting 25 currencies. This year, we reached over 1 million active accounts. We're at 103 million now. We have 10,000 employees worldwide, and we now process 18% of global e-commerce. So then when our journey started in Ireland, it was back in 2003, when Dublin was selected as the EU centre for both PayPal and eBay. At the time, we were both together. Back in 2003, we just started out with just 25 employees. And as you can see, over those 8 years, we've ramped up the employee numbers quite significantly, and we're now standing at 1,450 out in our operations centre in Ballycullen in Blanchardstown. Also a point of note, during the time that we were here and our presence in Europe has increased, we got our banking licence awarded through our Luxembourg headquarters back in 2007. Okay, so this is what I really want to talk to you about, and this was the initiative, again, we were involved with our local college. So ITB, the Institute of Technology Blanchardstown, run this program called the Rainbow Projects. It's basically funded from the dormant accounts, specifically targeting educational disadvantaged fund. So what they do is they kind of identify pre-entry activities for secondary school level and even primary school level children who may have found it a little bit more difficult to access that third level stream. They covered a huge disciplines under this kind of rainbow projects, all inspired by colours of the rainbow, as we can see. So everything from the Yellow Brick Gardening Club to the Red Race Ahead, their enterprise competition, to the initiative that they wanted us to get involved in, which was the Are You Pink or Are You Purple, targeted for young women in technology. So a brief overview was that, again, they looked at females aged around 60, so they're coming up to choosing their courses, or they're thinking about what they want to fill out in their CAO, and to kind of raise awareness of the possibilities that lie for them in technology courses and technology careers. So they wanted to engage us so we could speak and encourage the girls about the technology careers that would be available to them should they choose a technology course. So why is this important? Well, unfortunately, women's representation in technology isn't where we'd like it to be. It's a personal one for me, being a woman in technology. I have seen, the numbers decline year on year. When the industry kind of founded its feet back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was great hope that this would be a science where men and women would be equally represented. It didn't have any of the baggage of the other sciences. It was, a level playing field. There was no reason why participation shouldn't be equal. And that was the case in the mid-80s, where women were about 40% represented in the industry. However, we've been on a decline ever since, where the other sciences have gained in representation. A recent study from 2007 shows that of the professional positions, it is kind of 50-50 in most industries, apart from software engineering, where we're down at 22%. And even locally, the ITB numbers, represent those kind of same, even kind of less numbers. So we can see for the last 3 years, these are the 5 technology courses that they run. And of the 5, they range from 13% representation down to 19 again this September. There is some variation in the courses. There does seem to be more kind of engagement in the digital media one, but the traditional computer science, programming courses are still quite low. So we were really excited about getting involved to try and address this imbalance and see what we could do specifically, especially because it was local to the area. These were schools that we were targeting were in Blakestown and Hartstown. These were 16-year-old girls. 19 of them were invited into the eBay offices for kind of a whole open day visit. So the site visit itself was quite well represented in the local papers. Again, obviously it was driven by ITB and our partnership with them. it kind of had kind of three elements to it. And the first was pretty simple enough. It was a site visit, but it gave them that kind of feel of what it's like to work in a multinational technology company. The second one then was a little bit more strategic. What a lot of the reports say, girls aren't going in to technology because they see it as a domain of geeky guys, basically. Those scruffy guys that we've seen on the TV, Mark Zuckerberg and the likes, aren't doing us any justice, and they can't relate to people in the industry. So we tried to identify some role models. We brought in the female technologists. We organised kind of a panel discussion so they could see actually, people they can relate to are actually going into the industry. So we had a very, honest, open, frank discussion about why we chose those careers, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, anything that they wanted to ask about it, we answered their questions for. Then the third part and the kind of more, detailed element of the day was the interactive workshop. Because again, a lot of reports show that they don't see any relevance to technology with them. They think it's a boring industry. They think, I don't want to be sitting in front of a computer for the rest of my life. Little do they know, most jobs do actually entail that. So we really kind of, we wanted to address that. We kind of reminded them that within their lifetime, all the top technology companies have actually been established. Like within the last 16 years, we've had Google, we've eBay, PayPal, Twitter, Facebook, they have all risen up in their lifetime. And it is such a fast industry. It is only 4 years ago since the first iPhone was released in 2007. And now we're looking at the adoption of smartphones reaching 83% by 2013 in Western Europe. So it's going at such a rapid pace. We wanted to make them aware of this rapid change, and they kind of, they accepted that, and but they forget what life was like before Facebook and iPhones and the likes. So we had to kind of remind them of this fast-paced industry that we live in. We also really wanted to target areas of interest to them. So within the interactive workshop, we honed in on things close to their hearts, namely their mobiles, and secondly, an activity close to most women's hearts, and that is shopping. So we introduced them to real-life and demoed real-life mobile apps, which were an element of shopping to them that we're working on in PayPal. So everything from the ability to book your tickets in a Dutch cinema with your iPhone app, to customizing a box of chocolates, to doing just regular shopping. And we sent them away in their groups, and we tasked them to come up with their own new idea, their own new app, which they could use in their everyday environment, which would embrace this whole new commerce environment. So I didn't really know how it's going to go down, because it's been a while since I've been in a classroom of 16-year-old girls who didn't know what the engagement was going to be like. But they loved it. They just embraced it, and we didn't have to support them at all. They went off and they came back with their ideas and presented it back. And the interesting thing, when they were presenting back, little did they know that they were so on trend with all of their ideas. Like, they were just speaking to what they want, what would be of benefit to them. And it was key mobile trends that they were identifying. It was localized shopping, it was competitive pace shopping, it was all the buzzwords in the mobile industry, which they wanted, and they didn't really know about it. So they are, really are technology influencers without even knowing. Another kind of item which we remind them of was that, they are engaging with technology as frequently as guys, so they should, be, wanted to really encourage them to be part then of the design and the development of technology, because they are equal engagers with it. So we got a really great, feedback from the day, and the ideas were so strong, and I was so impressed with, the generation from these 16-year-old girls who have no technology background at all, that we decided to offer 2 of them an internship. So there was 2 6-week internships offered to them. It's a great opportunity. I'm Red. They're working in multinational. We gave them real work to do. We were quite limited on what we could give them because they didn't have a programming skill set. So we gave them a lot of research, again, in areas of their interest, research into mobile trends in their peer group in Europe. And they went off and they used a variety of data sources to come back and report back on what this was. So just finally to finish up on how we want to move this on forward, ITB came back to us and asked us to run 2 workshops this time round because they got such strong feedback. So we have one confirmed for December. Again, we're targeting those 2 schools, Hartstown and Blakestown. We're bringing back the girls who do the internship. They're going to, present back. They're going to be local ambassadors in their school, talking of what they've learned about the opportunities within technology. targeting 40 female students again in the local Dublin 15 area. We're still looking at the mobile internship for next year as well, and we're also engaging in other kind of future collaborations with ITB. Okay. Thank you very much.